I've been painting now for over 10 years. I can think of 3 things that have made a massive difference in my painting. I'm going to share all 3 of those things with you today. And the third one might surprise you a little bit. If you can improve in even one of these areas, you're going to see a jump in quality in your paintings. Number 1, paint shapes and not things. When we are looking at a reference photo, when we are outdoors painting, we are seeing so much information. But one way to help you be more accurate is to observe things simply as shapes. When we see a car or a person or a tree, we name those things in our head and we have preconceived notions of how we think these things should look. But by really observing and just looking at them as simple shapes, that can make it so much easier to draw and to paint. Now, once we start to see them as shapes, we want to start to connect them. That will help us identify the major shape of your painting. And to be honest, this is one of the hardest concepts to learn. It's one of the harder concepts to teach. You're no longer seeing a collection of objects that are all scooted together within a scene. You're starting to see connectivity between all of them. When I painted this, I started over here, I worked my way down here, I went through here, connected these buildings into the background over to this side of the painting and into this value here. That's all one connected shape. And one of the nice things about painting that way is you can let the colors merge on the paper. You can see here some warmer and cooler colors merging into each other. It's a very pleasing effect that is unique to watercolor. When you can paint in this connected way, you can bring unity to your painting, a cohesiveness, a stronger painting. So when you are looking at your scene, think about shapes rather than objects. Try not to name what it is that you're seeing and just simply observe, and then try to connect those shapes to find that large shape that will define your painting. The next one is ask yourself continually throughout the painting process, am I painting dark enough? And also, am I painting light enough? What I'm talking about here is values. That's another big thing that I talk about, values, and for good reason, because values are absolutely crucial to your painting. Values can feel like this abstract thing that's hard to understand. What we're really talking about is how light or how dark is something, and we want to compare those things to each other. And what creates vibrant light within your scenes and realistic light is if you are paying attention to the values and ensuring that you are painting dark enough or light enough, and comparing throughout the process what you are creating versus what it is that you were looking at. So many times when I was first painting, I didn't understand how to get vibrant light. I was using more color than I was value. But once I learned that you cannot have light if you do not paint dark in your scenes, if you're not painting strong enough, that really helped me take a big step forward. Throughout the process, you want to assess, am I painting things bold enough, strong enough to really ensure that the light stands out in the painting? One thing I find helpful is to identify the brightest part of the scene from the beginning. And that way, as you are working through the process, you know that everywhere else in your painting needs to be stronger in value than that area. Throughout the process, be comparing and checking your values. That will help you paint dynamic paintings with a rich feeling of light in them. But before we understand values and before we're even thinking about that, it's never going to happen. Tip number 3, and I find this one so relieving because it seems counterintuitive: paint less in your scenes. Less is more. And this is something I have to continue to remind myself, even after painting for 10 years, is that less is more. This painting is a good example of that. If you look at these mountains in the background, it's a pretty flat, simple wash with a little bit of suggested detail. Now, when you look at the reference photo, you would be able to see so much detail in these distant mountains, so many trees, so many little value changes, so much texture and information. But if I was to include all that in the painting, the background would be competing with the middle ground and the foreground. There would be no sense of depth. By painting less, you can actually say a lot more within your paintings. If you can learn to minimize and to soften the backgrounds of your paintings and to see less of that detail, all of a sudden your paintings become much more focused, much more purposeful, more meaningful, more bold. So those are my 3 tips, the 3 lessons that I have learned that I want to give to you over 10 years of painting. Is there one of these things that you think could make a big difference for you? I'd love to hear from you. Leave that in a comment down below. I have a free resource that I want to give to you today that has helped thousands of students take that next step in their painting. Take a look at this. Have you ever been really excited about a painting and you get all set up, you find that right reference that you're excited about, and then it's time to go and you feel lost? I have a free resource that I want to give to you today that can help with these problems. My 5 steps to plan a successful watercolor painting. I walk you through the crucial planning phase of your painting that will help you understand what you're going to paint first, second, and third. The planning is really so important, especially in watercolor. This medium is harder to correct. It's so immediate. So having that plan is very important. I send you a PDF that you can download. And the great thing about this is you can have it on your phone. You could print it out. You can download this right now before you start your next painting. All you have to do is follow this link here and download my 5-step guide to planning a successful watercolor painting.